What's really the difference between a mind-bending scientific theory and, well, just a popular myth? Today, we're going to dig into that. We're exploring two really extraordinary claims, one from the very edge of the universe and another from a sacred mountain right here on Earth, and we're going to see if we can find out.
So you've got these two wild ideas, right? On one hand, could we actually travel between entire galaxies in just a few minutes? And on the other, is there a mountain that can literally make you age faster? One sounds like a problem for astrophysics, the other sounds like, well, a tall tale. But they both have something in common. They're extraordinary claims, and that means they require some pretty extraordinary evidence.
So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to build a kind of mental toolkit for critical thinking. We'll take these two very, very different claims, and we're going to put them under the exact same scientific lens to see what actually holds up. Okay, first up, let's head out into space, deep into space. I think the most incredible thing about our universe is just its sheer mind-boggling size. But that incredible scale, that's also its biggest limitation, at least for us as explorers.
I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. If you took one of our fastest spacecraft right now and you pointed it at Andromeda, which is our closest galactic neighbor, you wouldn't get there for 94.5 billion years. I mean, at that scale, travel like we know it is just impossible, unless, of course, you could find a shortcut.
So that's where this idea comes in, the wormhole. You've probably seen it in movies like Interstellar, right? It's this theoretical tunnel through the actual fabric of space-time itself. But here's the thing that's so fascinating. This isn't just something Hollywood dreamed up.
No, the idea for wormholes comes directly from one of the greatest achievements in all of human history, Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity.
Whoa, okay, now don't worry, you do not need to solve this, but just look at what it represents. On one side of the equation, you have the geometry of space-time, how it can bend and stretch and curve. And on the other side, you have all the stuff, all the matter and energy in the universe. It's basically a profound recipe for how reality itself is built.
Remember back in high school math class, a simple equation can have two totally valid answers? Well, Einstein's equations, which are way more complex, they were kind of the same way. One valid mathematical solution gave us black holes. It predicted them 100 years before we ever took a picture of one. And another, equally valid solution gives us wormholes.
Here's the classic way to think about it, and it's brilliant. Imagine space is just a flat piece of paper. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? But what if you could bend that paper through a higher dimension, bringing those 2 points right up next to each other? A tunnel through that fold would be a huge shortcut, and that, in a nutshell, is a wormhole.
Okay, so we've seen how a really, really out there idea, a wormhole, can actually be grounded in some seriously rigorous physics. But now, let's pivot. What happens when we take that exact same critical thinking and apply it not to the cosmos, but to a myth right here on our own planet?
So let's come back down to Earth. This is Mount Kailash in Tibet. It stands at over 6,600 meters high. It's a sacred site for 4 major religions, and in our modern internet age, it's the source of countless myths.
And if you go online, the claims you'll find are just sensational. The stories say time itself warps near the mountain, making your hair and nails grow faster, making you age rapidly. They claim it's not even a natural mountain at all, but a giant, ancient pyramid. And, maybe the most famous one, that some kind of mysterious, supernatural force field prevents anyone from ever reaching the top.
So, the big question is, do any of these incredible stories actually hold up? Let's apply that same evidence-based thinking we just used for wormholes and see what we can find. Okay, first up, the numerology. The myth claims Kailash is exactly 6,666 kilometers from the North Pole and Stonehenge. But the reality? Well, the numbers are close, but they aren't a perfect match. It's definitely an interesting coincidence, but it's not the kind of supernatural precision that the claim is really built on.
Right next to the mountain, you've got these 2 lakes sitting side by side. One is freshwater, full of life. The other is super salty and totally barren. Is it some kind of divine miracle? Well, not exactly. You see, Lake Rakshas Tal is a landlocked lake. Water flows in, but it doesn't flow out. So for centuries, water is just evaporated, leaving all the salts and minerals behind, making it saltier and saltier. The other lake, Manasarovar, has an outlet, which keeps its water fresh. It's a wonder of geology, not magic. And what about that whole rapid aging claim? Well, it turns out you can trace nearly all of these stories back to a single source from the 1990s, a Russian eye surgeon named Ernst Muldashev. Now, this is a man who also claimed to have located Dracula's underground castle and said he believed in mermaids. So, maybe not the most credible scientific source.
Okay, so what about that mysterious force that stops climbers from reaching the summit? The truth is actually far more inspiring. Back in 1985, the world's greatest mountaineer, Reinhold Messner, was given a permit to climb it. But he refused, saying it would be like trampling on people's souls. Then, when another team got a permit in 2001, the global outcry was so huge that the Chinese government just permanently banned all climbing on the mountain, out of respect for its sacred status.
So you see, the mystery isn't a force field or some kind of time warp. The myths, they kind of fall apart when you look at them closely. But that doesn't mean there isn't something truly wondrous about Mount Kailash. The real miracle here is a human one.
This quote from Messner's peers, it just captures the feeling perfectly. It's this deep understanding that some places in our world hold a meaning that goes way beyond just physical conquest.
And this, right here, this is the real wonder of it all. I mean, think about it. We have conquered Mount Everest. We have literally left our footprints on the moon. Our entire species is defined by pushing every single boundary we can find. And yet, for this one place, Mount Kailash, humanity has collectively, consciously made the choice to just step back, to leave it alone, and simply show respect.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Which do you find more extraordinary? Is it a theory, born from pure mathematics, that could one day unlock the entire universe for us? Or is it a choice, born from pure reverence, that preserves a mystery right here on Earth? It's a tough one.